So Rishi is here with us. Welcome.
Hi everyone.
I'm really sorry. I was just in the process
No,
of
that's okay. That's okay. I'm surprised that I got up so like on time and like I was like, okay, we have to go live now.
right. So Rishi, what is important here for us to kind of start off with is I was just setting the tone. Uh,
Mhm.
but let's welcome our audiences and Rishi as well. So Rishi basically works with the Pink Triangle. It is
That's
an
it.
NGO that works with all kinds of sections of the people and makes them
Right.
included into the mainstream
Yeah.
society. Rishi here is representing the LGBTQ society, a part of the society in broader terms, not
Yeah.
like
Now it's
that.
LGBTQIA plus now. So there's like the
Right. We
entire
will come
spectrum
to
that's
that
being
as well,
represented.
Rishi. Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
We'll come to that as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's start the session, Rishi. I would start with
Sure.
you introducing yourself a little to us so
Okay.
that we all
All
know
right. Yeah, okay.
where we are.
Thanks, Namita. Thanks for the pre-introduction already.
Yeah.
So basically, I'm Rishi. Hi, everyone. If you don't know me, I'm Rishi Bamola. I'm 24 years old. I recently moved from Bombay to Delhi, and I couldn't be happier. I mean, it's an amazing place. Also, I stumbled upon this agency, not an agency exactly. It's Moza India's this thing, a social service that's provided from Moza India. That's an NGO. It's again not an NGO. It's like a creative sort of an advertising company that has all these subdivisions, and one of the subdivision is this Pink Triangle India. This is like an initiative taken from them, and it's about supporting LGBT community in general at mass. Like be it we are planning to introduce school curriculums, introducing kids at an early stage that what it's all about. Like people should know about it at an early stage that all sort of people exist in the community in the population in general, and also we have some sort of arrangement that is to be made in workplaces, in colleges. So just to give like a clear picture, like a clear idea of what the community is all about, so that in future people are at least aware. That's the least that we can do, is to just make people a little aware of what this is and what this is about and what people are already in the society. So that's a little about that. And yeah, I joined like pretty recently, and so now I somehow like took over their social media page, because they were like, okay, you can like take this page forward and like go ahead with the plan and like promote this and like do all sort of things. So I was happy.
So Pink Triangle has been good to you, good for you.
Yeah, very good, very good. Like I love it. I love it. I mean, because of this corona, I mean, of course, we couldn't like sit together and like have a large group meeting. But yeah, it's happening over the calls, mails, and like we do video calls and stuff like that. And the founder sometimes comes over and like we meet and like we have like group like a basic discussion about what to be done next. Oh,
Right.
Parth is online now. Parth is the one who got me in touch with you. And
Oh, lovely. So welcome.
yeah,
Yes.
hi Parth. Is it
Yes.
going to be like an interactive sort of session also? Like people will be asking questions?
Yes, yes,
Okay,
yes,
okay,
yes. We
okay,
definitely urge our audiences to come up with questions, because
okay.
curiosity could be hiding in any corner, right?
Yeah.
So kind bring that out. The idea is to
Hmm.
get to know each other, and in
True.
the process also tell people that sometimes what you get in that package called sanskar or sanskriti
Yeah.
is maybe
Yeah.
not always that right. So
True. Yeah.
yeah, so I mean, imagine an entire group of people, or section of people, I would say, across age groups are
Yeah.
going through a lot of adjustment mental stresses because the
True.
society does not want to admit you know
Yeah.
that it's okay
I
to
mean,
be, yeah, nothing more than that,
yeah.
that it's okay to
Yeah. I mean,
um,
yeah. So basically, I mean, like it's not. It's all the. Oh my God. I'm really sorry. Like this dog is really here to interrupt this thing. I'm really
that's
sorry.
okay,
So
as
no, I
long
mean
as you're
it's
having fun, it's all good.
yeah, no, I mean, so basically, yeah, it's the time of like mental distress and like all sort of things you come across, all sort of negative news that's already so your mind is already so preoccupied with such negativity. It's time to like break that chain and maybe like bring about like a little positivity, like just not, shove it down anybody's throat, but just like lightly take a steps, like just take a small step just to like, create that barrier between that negativity and that mental peace of ours. And there's nothing more like it. I mean, obviously, it's the time that is, I think mental illness at this particular moment is peaking in general. Like, it's peaking everybody's life. Like, it's so hyped, like, be it Sushant's suicide or like, be it, COVID-19 in general killing a lot of people, and like again like Hong Kong disputes, protests going on, Indo-China border stuff. It's already so much to handle. Moreover, I know it's Pride Month. It was supposed to be like a little light-hearted during the summer period, but yeah, that didn't happen. I mean, yeah, that didn't happen actually. Like the Pride walk.
I mean, how can, I mean, if the, that is what we are trying to bring out in this session, is that it's easy
Yeah,
to be light-hearted. It is easy.
yeah, exactly.
So you can have all the money, you can have all the success, but the fact that
Yeah,
you are not kind of being able to openly tell people,
exactly.
and it's
That's the
not about
worst
the
feeling ever.
orientation. It's about
Yeah,
just you,
yeah.
just you.
Just to be open to yourself. Yeah,
Yeah. So, and also the way we are brought up, sometimes
yeah,
most of our problems originate from self-hate more than anything else,
exactly.
from the confusion in the growing up years. So, Rishi,
Yeah.
that brings me to my first official question to you.
Oh,
How
good.
growing up years been for you?
So basically, again, I will be speaking from solely my experiences. I'm
Yes.
not going to generalize anything. So my dad works as a wing commander in Air Force. So he's always been like posted to different sort of places and everything. Growing up was so much fun. Like I've experienced almost all sort of places, like all sort of schools. I changed 8 schools. I've had like I used to live in like any city for just like about 3 years, then move again. Changed friends, changed boyfriends, or like whatsoever. And yeah, that have always been like, uh, it was never very constant, which I, in the later years, kind of regretted. Like, I wish my dad had more like a stable job where I could just stay in the same apartment, live the same life in school, or just have the same friends throughout the years. But of course,
Stability,
to
as
each on his,
yeah?
yeah, sorry?
The stability, as they call it.
Yeah, the stability was definitely like missing, and I was longing for it for a very long time. But yeah, that was pretty much about it. Like growing up was always, I think I have like pretty fond memories of my past. I mean, be it my childhood, it was never really rough. Of course, I was bullied to some extent, but personally, I handled it pretty well. I don't know how, but it was just like never so like, like mentally exhausting. It was always like, very light and a very chill sort of bullying. I think that was pretty much required just so that I was just to make it like a little, I mean, I don't know how to express it in words, but I guess that made me a lot more stronger.
Yeah.
And like just to deal with what was coming next. And what's coming next is not guaranteed to be like chill and smooth. It might be very rough, it might be very hard, but yeah, that sort of played a huge part. But apart from any of those minor bullying incidents, I think I had like a pretty amazing life. And yeah, I mean, I traveled a lot. I got to see like a lot of places. I lived in almost like 3 different countries and like uncountless cities. So it was like great. It was good.
Yeah, lovely. I mean, Rishi, I mean, this is so refreshing to hear this happy note on which you're describing your
Yeah.
childhood. I mean, it's a blessing in disguise. You could
True.
miss the stability factor, but at the
Yeah.
same time, you also had the luxury of changing the school, changing the
Yeah. Like, I
becoming a
mean, right
new
before you mess up, you
person.
can like, you know that you can move like next to the next part of your life. So
Right,
that was
start
one
all
good
over
thing.
again. Start all over again. I
Yeah.
mean, it's okay. I'll put that in the past and kind of start afresh. That's so beautiful. But
Yeah.
Rishi, I'm sure you must have kind of met people, in cases also dated people who have had a very turbulent childhood, owing
True.
to exactly the same permanence which maybe you missed sometimes.
Yeah.
But
True.
sometimes you missed in your life. Would you
Yeah.
want to share the kind of not just bullying in school, but in general, even
In
from
general. Yeah.
and stuff that may come, you're a person with a different choices,
Right.
yeah. So while growing up
So
here, it's pretty
I've
difficult.
I mean, I've had like a lot of friends who belong to the LGBT community back in the school also. And what happens is that, like, when you're like in your primary to the middle school time, I mean, you don't really understand what gay is. Like, like all the knowledge that you gain is from either television, movies, or stuff like that. And Bollywood never portrayed any gay love story back in the day. I mean, it was always about Kuch Kuch Hota Hai, Rahul running after Anjali, or stuff like that. So nobody had any clear picture of what love should be like. So it was always a confusion that got like built up so much like over the period of time that by the time it hits you, the reality hits you that, oh my God, like you are not attracted to Anjali or attracted to Rahul on the screen. It's just like suddenly your world goes upside down. You have all sort of questions like, oh my God, like, is this like normal? Is this like, am I like the outcast already? Like, how is my family going to take it? Like, what if like they just like abandon me? Like, what if they just, like chuck me out of the house and they're like, what, you're like one of those, and I don't know, like all sort of things happen. And again, while I come to that coming out story, which will be like in a few moments, yeah. But before that, I mean, of course, I had like plenty of people who have come from a different, also like sort of background altogether. Like they were coming from a conservative Muslim family. Like they had like they were like, I mean, again, like culturally speaking, it's like a whole like an entire spectrum to talk about. But then there were people from the Hindu backgrounds where they were like proper Brahmins and they were like not willing to eat meat or whatsoever. But still, it's just like it differed. Like there's a difference between like all sort of cultural background. So I saw like a lot of kids suffering because of that, like lying to their parents and like eating chicken in school and like going back and pretending to be a proper Brahmin, or like a Muslim one like coming and like dating another guy, but then going back and pretending to be a straight guy and stuff like that. Like all these sort of things used to happen like in school, and it was obviously, again, we were just enjoying the confusion. All of us were like not well aware or educated about what is to be done after this once you know yourself that you are into when you are a homosexual for that matter. So it's just like a lot confusing back in the day. Now to speak of, like, I mean, today, I guess, again, I think we're lucky that we are in India at the moment. I mean, we are not going through like a lot of hardship and protest or like fighting against the LGBTQ rights. I mean, there's still like a lot of work to be done, but for now, I think it's a great place to be. Like people are well educated about the whole fact that yes, like this sort of things, like these sort of things do exist, and people are like falling in love with the same gender, and like that's completely all right, and like people are being supportive. Like I mean, people do go out for the Pride March and stuff like that, which if it was not the case like back in the day. So now it's getting a lot, like it's booming at the moment, I feel.
So Rishi, like I said, we'll come to the coming out later because coming
Yeah,
out is something that has already been kind of addressed to, and
yeah,
I'm not saying to its fullest, to its
yeah,
completion or anything, but it is at least being talked about because a lot of people
true.
have come in and said that coming out is tough and it's
Yeah,
confusing and it's emotional, traumatic sometimes for some people.
yeah,
Uh, I will come to that, but first I want to understand a young child. Since we are talking
yeah,
about school here, a young child,
yeah,
like you said, we are all trying to figure out life at that point. So,
yeah,
straight, not straight, whatever terms that you want to use. To somehow
yeah,
those labels make me a little uncomfortable.
yeah. Yeah,
It's
understood.
just you discovering
Yeah,
self, your sexuality, your
yeah,
role, and that is where the entire confusion comes in because there are only
yeah,
two rules that are kind of accepted or that you
yeah,
kind of are exposed to. Let's not say
yeah, exactly.
but exposed.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, so in those times when you yourself don't know what sexuality is all about,
yeah,
you don't know what attraction is all about, you don't
yeah,
know those things. So coming out happens later after the realization for self
yeah.
happens.
For years, yeah, that's
After
true. Yeah,
that kind of confidence that it's okay, I'm okay being who I am, is when you
yeah,
decide, fine, I want to share it with people now. Uh,
yeah,
but the kind of confusion that a child goes through in the pre-teens,
yeah,
maybe up to the years of 13 or 14
yeah,
age group, when you don't know, and
yeah,
your classmates are maybe crushing on girls, talking to you about it, or in
yeah.
certain cases, the body language is also kind of different.
Different. Yeah,
And this is the time when your classmates, your relatives start questioning why is it different.
Yeah.
Can you tell us something about that kind of pressure? If you have come across stories, of course.
I did actually. I did. So back in school, like the early stages, like when I was like in primary schooling or like till middle school, because I was sure that by middle school I was this, like I'm gay, and like I knew that for sure that I'm not attracted to girls whatsoever.
Yeah.
And but before that, like obviously we had this preconceived notion that okay, like I'm supposed to marry a girl in the end. Like this was like back in the day when I was pretty young and I had no other option of knowing that what I might actually get married to a guy or stuff like that. Yeah, I never had that liberty that I might be like I can actually marry a guy. But look, back in the day, but I was sure that I might have.
I'm just cutting you short. You didn't have the liberty, or you didn't know?
I did know for the fact that what, like being gay doesn't like happen overnight. Like you know it from the very first stages of life. For example, I still remember like my dad and mom, they were like, I don't know if you can call it supportive, but it was weird that they used to give me like buy me a lot of pink stuff, like a lot of yeah, Barbie dolls and all. And I used to love that. I used to like change their outfits, put on the right shoes and stuff like that. And on the other hand, my younger brother used to play with those Blades and those monster trucks sort of a thing. And it I'm not saying that this solely builds up a gay character. It's definitely like irrespective of but it's just that like, it's somehow it's about what those things makes you feel like. So, for example, if I enjoy playing with the monster truck, I would know that I would enjoy playing with the monster truck. If I did not, I would not, and so on, like so on. So I did realize. So basically, back in the day, like in school, I used to like just chill with a lot of girls. Like I was always like surrounded with girls, playing with them and giving them these sort of braids or like haircuts and like stuff like that. I used to do all sort of feminine stuff, but not too feminine, but like a little feminine for sure. And my parents were like they were pretty aware of it that, I like sometimes to put on my mom's skirt and like, like play all sort of, I don't know, do all sort of nonsense. I don't know what I used to call that. But I used to do that a lot. And not that they stopped me from that time, but did point out a few things that, what, like, aren't you like a little too femme? Like, don't you think you're acting too girly? Wish you were a girl, like, because my parents always wanted a girl child. So they were like, I wish you were a girl, like, that would have solved a lot of problems. And all these words into my ears, into this 10 years old kid it's just like feeding on that vibe that is going to come out pretty soon. So, like all those statements would help me. I don't know if it did help me actually. It didn't like messed up my life or anything. It did help me, but it sort of fed that inner women present inside me that just
all of that.
Yeah, all sort of. So it did give me like a sense of I don't know, again, like now come to think of it, it's just like I'm not sure how to put it in words, but it did help me a lot. Like, I mean, if my parents were to like beat me up, like what the hell, like why are you wearing that girl skirt, why am I buying you Barbie doll? Yeah, that would have been like a complete different story. Then I would be just suppressing my vibe and I'll have to act fake all my childhood, like oh no, like I'm butch and I'm like dude, and like I'm not gonna chill with girls, I'm only gonna play basketball with boys and stuff like that. So that never really happened. But again, I think I was lucky. I don't know, again, I was lucky, so I don't know how bad it is for other kids to grow up in an environment where parents must be like beating them up or like saying all sort of like terrible shit and like giving them a really hard time all their childhood. So again, it depends on the exposure also. Like I guess that my parents have like traveled and lived a lot. Maybe that's why they had this sort of ideas that these things do sort of exist and they should not really differentiate that. But again, if we think about like someone who's growing up in a rural background, like a small town, a very small town where all they have experienced or seen is just like their own their own town people and like a small mentality or like a very timid sort of a behavior, they would definitely do something like that, give their kids a hard time or like maybe force them to not be feminine, force them not to wear skirts or whatsoever, like, or not chill with girls at that time. So it again like fluctuates from people to people again. But in general, I think that whole concept of gender is such a tricky phase that I mean, once you just put lipstick on and then suddenly people will start calling you names, or like if you put a lip balm for like sometimes a guy puts a lip balm on, they're like, अरे ये क्या है, मतलब ये क्या लड़कियों जैसी हरकतें कर रहा है, lipstick लगा लो and all sort of names. So that's very, I think that is the very wrong thing. Like, I mean, I've seen straight guys doing all sort of skincare regimen, like, you know, putting on lotion, putting on 5 creams before sleeping and stuff like that. And I, on the other hand, I don't do shit. Like, I'm not into products or stuff like that. So there is again like a very,
And then
it just,
before they
it's a
walk
very,
out of the house, they're going to be all no makeup look and stuff. Yeah.
what, I didn't get you.
So in the house, there are, you know, like you put it, the straight guys have a lot of products on and they're taking care
Yeah.
of it. And the next moment they're heading out of the house and they want to be no
Yeah.
makeup. Yeah.
Yeah, they want to be like all butch and like, yeah, but that's again to like, I think whatever works the best for you, man. Like, I mean, that's just do it. I mean, for example, my skin might not take, I may be lactose intolerant, so I might not drink cow's milk, but I will choose nut milk. So that's the same thing with everybody else. Like, something might suit you, something might not. So whatever works, sometimes you might like, for example, if you're a lady, you're not going to be like expected to wear sari all the time or like salwar kameez. You will wear a t-shirt sometimes. And so on. Like, I mean, guys can also wear something feminine. I mean, like a loose jacket that's a little feminine or with flowers on that lapel side. So it's completely normal. So it just, I feel it's high time that the line should, it's not just blurry, but to just eradicate the line between gender norms, that, you know, what girls should be like this, guys should be like this. Just like be individually flourishing in our own self. And like, that's the best thing that we can do to ourselves and to society. I feel like that'll be the best thing ever if we just focus on ourselves, know what works best for us, and once we heal ourselves, we can heal others. Like, if I was not, if my parents were always forcing me to like wear this sort of shirt and like always be buttoned up and like wear shirts and do not put lip balm on or like never touch kajal or whatever, if I would see someone else do that, I would just bleed on that person. I would hate that person because he had the liberty to do all sort of experiments, and I might have a negative attitude towards him. So once I'm not healed completely, I would never be supportive to that person. That's the same with me. Like, if for example, if I was always, you know, my parents had always like pushed me, like hyped me up, like, oh my god, you sing so well, oh my god, you have like nice shoes, good choice, huh? Good fashion ideas, and like all sort of stuff. Oh, you decorated the room so nice, lovely centerpiece in the dining table, this is good, right? That helped me to, like, you know, support others also, just in case like someone is painting on the wall. I would suggest them. I would not be, ew, ye kya kar diya? This is pathetic, like just take it down. I would never be negative about that. So it's just, I think it's all about personal growth, knowing what works the best for us, and then helping others. Because once we are already, like, you know, terrified of coming out, we would never help the other person to be, like, you know, out there and, like, you know, be open about themselves. That just really plays with your mental health again.
Lovely. So there are two things that I would want to kind of summarize for the audiences, ऋषि. वो चीजें बहुत खूबसूरती से ऋषि रख रहे हैं. पहली बात तो ये कि करने दीजिए ना जो कर रहा है यार बच्चा आपका, रहने दीजिए जैसे रह रहा है, जैसे दिल करे. ये आपका समाज है जो दो हिस्सों में बटा हुआ है और उन दो हिस्सों के अलावा और कोई जगह नहीं बचती है. हो सकता है वो बच्चा जिस समाज में पलेगा बढ़ेगा, जिस दुनिया में अपनी जिंदगी बिताने वाला है, वहां हम सब शायद थोड़े ज्यादा इंसानी होंगे, लाइक वी कॉल आवरसेल्व्स ह्यूमनाइज्ड होंगे. तो उसको अभी रहने दीजिए. और कॉम्प्लीमेंट्स देना कहीं भी गलत नहीं है. सो ऋषि's पेरेंट्स हैव always made it a point to kind of appreciate him, encourage him, but irrespective of what kind of work he did, if the work was good, he's going to be appreciated for that work. That's why. Secondly, अगर आप खुद टूटे हुए हैं तो आप किसी को जोड़ नहीं सकते. So before you reach out to people to help, work on yourself. You have to be at peace with who you are, irrespective of LGBTQ or no LGBTQ. I don't know how to put it. Everybody, every individual. If you are two broken pieces, will not make one complete piece.
Whole. Yeah, that's true.
We end up shattering both the pieces even more. To work on yourself, learn to love yourself. Your father doesn't understand you, your mother doesn't understand you. आपको समाज बोला गया है और समाज आपको नहीं समझेगा. खैर आज छोटे में अगर हम आपको बताएं, समाज किसी को भी नहीं समझेगा. That's true. समाज का काम समझना है ही नहीं. समाज का काम आपको डिसिप्लिन करा के भेड़ बकरियों की तरह एक लाइन में चलाना.
Exactly.
आप भेड़ बकरी नहीं है, मत समझने दीजिए.
और वो
that
हमेशा से मुझे एक चीज याद रही है कि sorry again I think I just cut you the wrong time.
go on.
So I mean Samaj like collective, once we talk about like tackling the masses, like the whole crowd, don't you think like it's easier to just like focus on ourselves first, and then our whole self will form a Samaj of its own and then be like in the majority. So that's what I meant, like, yeah. But and once you put that in Hindi, it just sounds so much mellow and so nice. I know, sounded a lot like Urdu.
So moving on. Rishi, so where did you do your college from? Like,
So I hope no judgment over here. I did my college, but then I dropped out. So I studied from FAD International, which is in Pune and Bombay and London and Milan and in Delhi also. But Delhi one is not operating anymore. So it's like a small sort of a college, but primarily like all artistic sort of kids join there. And it's a very space, like a free space sort of a place, and chill place, like all about fashion, art, and design. And I was supposed to do my graduation for fine arts. So I was training to be an artist, although I always was an artist. It's just that I wanted a degree out of it. That apparently didn't turn out well. It was like it hit the reef pretty bad, but not that I regret any of those decisions. I mean, I thought college was a waste of time. I mean, if you're becoming an artist, you don't really need a degree to prove it that you're an artist. You just need like a body of work to show that what I'm an artist, and then rest is up to people if they want to like it or not. So that happened, and so apparently my college had this dual city course program. Like the first 2 years were supposed to be in Pune, and the third was supposed to be in UK. But of course, as my attendance was pretty low and I did not like going to college, I did not pursue that. I started jumping into like freelance work and like backstage, and somehow got into fashion industry. Started working as a stylist for a while, and I landed up in like a lot of jobs. I did like a lot of jobs, and apparently I'm just at the moment I'm not doing any job. But yeah, I think I did a lot of jobs after that.
at 24, you sound like a super achiever. Let me just.
Oh my God, achiever is like, oh my, that's too much. Like don't hype me up, please, Amita. Don't do that.
So many sectors of work at this young an age.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And that is an achievement. I'm not going to downplay that anymore.
You're just sounding like my parents again. Like, thank you for like supporting me and like helping me out. That's right. I mean,
We have a lot of support and a lot of love coming your way. I'm just going to quickly look into the comment section here.
oh
We
yeah,
can
please.
do this every.
Meanwhile, I'll sip on my Coca-Cola.
Yes, please. I wish we were sitting across the table. I could offer you.
I
coffee.
know, right?
So sadly, we can't do that. So yeah, I'm just scrolling up a little bit to see that I pick up
Okay.
everybody here. So there is Amit who says proud of both of you.
Oh, so sweet.
He says समाज आपको मशीन में डाल के आपसे कुछ कुछ चूस लेगा. नहीं, हम नहीं होने देंगे. Then Rohan Pillai says, love you, Rishi.
Oh,
And,
hi, Rohan.
Ankit says, hello. Rohan again says, Rishi for the president. Well, fingers crossed.
Oh my God.
Rohan again says, stop being modest, Rishi. Well, yeah. Except what's good that's coming your way. And Parth also says, love you, Rishi.
Oh my God, so much of love, you guys.
Ekta says, glad to have you on our forum. So, Rishi, you have a thank you note from.
Oh my God, thank you so much, Ekta. I mean, I'm glad. I mean, like this is what I do the best, like talking a lot. I mean, this was the least that I could do.
It's such a beautiful feeling to be able to talk.
Yeah.
And, yeah, as much as we enjoy it, people don't like it so much, I
Really?
don't know why.
No, I think like live is like the hype, na? Right now, like everybody's like on live and like they do want to like pass their time somehow. I mean, yeah, I mean, depends on the subject that you talk about. Like I saw like last night I was discussing like these two girls were discussing about Sushant's suicide, and that turned into like a NDTV news panel that suddenly they're fighting and yelling at each other. I'm like, oh God, like I need to get off this negativity.
And some of us have also been getting sucked into it. That's
Yeah.
called, because we are all locked in lockdown.
Yeah.
We are
Yeah.
also locked with ourselves in our heads again.
Yeah.
That's the
That's
most
the most difficult part. Dealing and enjoying with yourself is the most difficult thing ever. Like, if you can do that, if you can walk out of this lockdown loving yourself, there's nothing like it. Then you can survive any pandemic or any epidemic or any lockdown or any blackout whatsoever. You'll just be like shining bright. I think that's the biggest achievement if you walk out loving yourself. This is the best time to work on yourself. This lockdown, I think.
It's like the time when we needed no drama, we have maximum
Yeah.
added to our lives, and it is playing up. And I hope nothing, no sad news comes our way. I just hope.
Oh God, I hope not. I hope not. Yeah, same, same.
Yeah, moving on, Rishi. So college was also good for you because you were surrounded by artistic people.
With artists and yeah, designers and photographers. So a little glam life that I just dipped my feet into, and then suddenly I was like, into that direction of fashion. And then the chapter came, like I moved to Bombay and I started working hardcore over there. Like I worked with the industry, like Netflix or like web series and stuff like that, but never like played a role or whatsoever, but just like into the styling department. Yeah, that happened. And again, I didn't like Bombay that much. I mean, it's just pretty competitive, dark sort of a place. Not to make anybody feel sad about Bombay or anything, or if somebody's from Bombay, please don't mind whatever. It's just like, again, a personal thing that I say. But I never really liked Bombay. It just, although it's like the hub for the community people, like, I mean, it's thriving over there. The culture is like really thriving over there. But somehow it just felt a little dark, like a little, you know what I mean? Like a little negative with a pinch of darkness, like in a not so right manner, like in a very dark way. So yeah, then
always had
what?
the laid back line vibe.
Yeah, exactly. And like that's when my dad called me. He's like, okay, हमारा transfer आ गया last वाला, and I was like, कहाँ है? They're like Delhi. I jumped out of the couch and I'm like, okay, I'm booking my flight. I'm just coming. Don't do. I got so hyper. I was like, oh my God, like shit. And I was thinking that, what if like we don't get Delhi because there were options that. So what happens in the Air Force is that once you cover the North Zone, like once you're posted in the North Zone, you can't like really go back again. You can't go back to the same one. And like that was the case, and then that just happened suddenly. It was either Jaisalmer or Delhi, and surprisingly it was Delhi. So I was like super happy. I was like, wow, like I just wanted this to happen.
Thank you so much. I mean, I somehow did not want the discussion to be very, very sad or serious. And
Yeah.
In the times that
we have a lot of other people to cover that. Like we have a lot of other lives to do that.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's important. It's important that through you, people understand that there are a lot of people around them who are maybe not being able to breathe at this time as we speak, and not being able to breathe only because they have been caged inside the buildings for so long. So, when I asked you about your college, because college has always been celebrated as that place where the real personalities are formed.
Comes out, yeah.
Growing up happens. What if the growing period is emotionally or in terms of system shunted since childhood and the agony continues in college?
True.
I Red Triangle, I'm guessing that you must have sat with a couple of people who would have had a stress like that.
I do know a few people.
Yeah. So, what would you talk to the people who have gone through an entire episode, and most of the confusion, most of the insecurities, most of the personality issues, all of that are, rather made bigger, leading to more psychological, emotional issues.
True.
College era. What would you like to tell them? What are the scenarios that you come across? How bad are they exactly?
I do know like a few people who are still like pretty much struggling. Like, I just want to tell this to everyone out there. Just do not make it a habit. Like, I know something bad must have happened in the past, but don't like, drag it along. Like the heavier the load is, you'll have difficulty walking it. Like, walking the path is going to be difficult the more baggage you carry. So just drop it down. I know past was fucked up, but just like you have time, like right now. Don't waste the coming days of your future or your present just because your past was fucked up. I mean, your dad was fighting with you, be it. Like, don't talk about it. Like, your mother was pissed with you all your life, just avoid it. I mean, you had terrible teachers, like, who nitpicked on you or something like that. Just avoid, stop thinking about them. What will come next will be shaping your life forever. And you never know, you might come across some really nice people who are going to, like, lift you up a little bit. But if you carry that baggage, that'll become your personality, and people will resent talking to you further. It's just going to work its way inwards, and it's just going to make it a lot more harder for others to get through that facade that they're building, or, like, that they're carrying along. I know it's easier said than done. Ki, okay, your past must be like fancy and stuff like that. How can you know like what trauma I had? I mean, everybody had like a lot of trauma. Not that I was like, coming, like, taking a like a milk bath in the bathtub and like walking out of it, like, in a silver this thing. But it's just not that. I mean, always my struggle might be different from their struggle. I mean, magnitude might differ, but the struggle in the end is a struggle. It's never ki like, okay, I cut my wrist, no, I cut my foot. Oh, you would not understand the pain. The pain is the same. It's just going to be a different sort of a thing. But that's what I see. Like, I mean, I do know a few people that they're still struggling with their identification and, like, a lot of stuff like the trauma or past life. I mean, somebody like tells me that, oh my God, you're so bubbly, you're so cute and this and that. But they don't know that 2 years I was in anxiety and depression medication, and I still do. I still go to a therapist. I still have like certain mental illness that I would call it, like a general anxiety disorder that I have. But that I don't like carry it every day telling people, oh, I have anxiety, don't do that, don't say that. I will never grow. And personally, I will never make friends if I carry on, with this. I mean, it's important to talk about it, but I don't think so it's necessary to just, drag it along all the time. I mean, just talk it out once in a while, discuss it with the close ones, but just don't make it a habit that, this will be your identity from now on. Nobody knows me as an anxious Rishi. They know me just as Rishi, or like an artist Rishi, or like something of that sort. Do not make it like a prefix of your name that, oh my God, Acha, you're talking about that sad guy. I'm just going to say some random name like Ram. You're talking about the sad Ram. No, it should never be like that. It should always be like, oh, you're talking about Ram. Yeah, let's invite him over for a party. It should never be that, oh God, Ram, he's going to just, crib about his life and let's just like avoid him. That is going to happen because I have seen it happen. And this is not for anybody else's approval that I will not be invited for a party. That's why I'm going to change myself. No, just change it for yourself, because the more you think about it, the more it'll come in your dreams, first of all. It'll stop you from like, being who the real self is. And thirdly, it'll just really mess up your career, your friendships, your family relationships, and everything that follows. Because if again it comes down to the same thing that you really have to do it for yourself, because if I carry that baggage of my past that, oh my God, that kid used to like say all sort of names, now it's triggering me, someone else says that, I will just like lock myself in the room and die. Like, I mean, I would never survive if I just carry all that baggage along. So it's best to drop off that weight and just move forward lightly, and that's the best I think one can do.
How, Rishi? How does one do that? Let's say I don't have Rishi to be able to talk.
Okay.
I do not have Humanizing Lives or Red Triangle. I don't have any of these organizations. I don't know of them. I don't know that there is nothing wrong with me. I don't know that I am normal as normal can get. I don't know any of that, and I'm suffering with identity issues. And on the other hand, I've got parents who, are maybe forcing me to do the regular male or a female things, and they are forcing me into, maybe I'm a woman and I want to be an engineer, but I'm not. We are waiting for Rishi to come back on. His network is slightly unstable, but I'm sure it will work through it. Wow. Yeah, he's back.
Back on?
Yeah.
I think that thing just got like hung up for a second.
So, I don't know, I'm a woman and I'm ambitious and I have an identity that I do, and I want to go out there, do my engineering degree, but my parents think that, I'll not get married because I'm from a small town. Things like that. Or you develop resentment because you felt rejected and you've been dejected for so long.
Yeah.
and not that the parents want to consciously do it, but it's just that you're not fitting into the normative, the normal.
Yeah.
आप
Yeah.
है वो जैसी दुनिया चल रही है, जैसी दुनिया दिखती है
वैसे ही चलते रहने. Yeah.
और ये आपके पेरेंट्स आपकी चिंता करने के वजह से थोड़ी कंसर्न है.
चिंता वाले टैग में they just slap on that thing on your life and they just like
ऋषि नहीं हो पा रहा, मुझसे नहीं हो पा रहा, मेरे को पता ही नहीं है ना कि मेरे साथ कुछ गलत नहीं है, और मैं बार बार अपने आप को ठीक करने की कोशिश कर रहा हूँ या कर रही हूँ, बहुत कोशिश कर रही हूँ मैं. आई एम ट्राइंग टू फिट इनटू ट्रेंड.
या
परेशानी बढ़ जाएगी जब तक मुझे रेड ट्रायंगल या ह्यूमनाइजिंग लाइफ या कोई ऋषि या कविता नहीं मिलेगा, तब तक मैं अपने आप को कैसे समझाऊं कि मुझे ये बोझ सिर से जो है वो टोकरी उतार के थोड़ी देर को रखूं, कैसे करूं?
I think सबसे जरूरी चीज ये रहेगी कि this is what I do, like sometimes again can I use it like as my reference if I may. So what I do is like always, like wherever I wake up in the morning, I look in the mirror before I brush my teeth, wash my face. I always like make a very uncomfortable eye contact with myself. I know it sounds very self-indulgent and creepy, but I think I just look at myself and then I think that, if I would have, like, if just to make myself or my parents, like, just make my parents satisfy their needs, like, okay, I wish Rishi had a degree right now, this is what they crib about. This is their most biggest concern of my life, is that I don't have a degree. So this is what they always talk about. And they do make some nasty statements about my job. Like sometimes that is like, oh, this is happening because you don't have a degree. This is what they use a lot. And this again affects me sometimes, that, I mean, if I wish I had that degree and stuff like that. But then every morning when I wake up and I look at my face and like, I just think about a lot of things in my past, that if I had that degree, I would have been doing the same things. I mean, even if I had that degree, that would have never changed what I would do right now. I mean, I may have taken like a different route to this point of my life, but then just with a degree along. So always look in the mirror and think that, even if your parents were like forcing stuff on you, you would still be here, you would still be present, doing the same stuff, living the same life, but then with just your own shart. And like your own sharte might just differ. Like किसी की शर्तें कुछ और होती है, किसी को लाइफ से, कुछ लोग मैंने ऐसे भी देखे जो शादी करने के बाद भी they do something productive for themselves. Divorce ले लो, divorce के option है. Then you have counselors, and world now is so small कि आप फोन खोलोगे, आपके पास 50 ऑप्शंस ऑलरेडी प्रेजेंट रहेंगे कि आप इसको कांटेक्ट करो, आप उसको कांटेक्ट करो. बात होती है कि किस हद तक आपको वो चीज चाहिए, उसका मैग्नीट्यूड क्या है. अगर मेरे माउंटेन से छोटे मोटे ताने मारे, आई विल नॉट लाइक लुक अप ऑन गूगल एंड फाइंडिंग अ थेरेपिस्ट दैट ओ गॉड आई नीड अ थेरेपिस्ट, माय लाइफ सक्स एंड आई एम जस्ट गोना डू दैट. बट अगर आपको इतनी ड्राइव और इतना मोटिवेशन आ गया कि अब आपको वो लाइफ बदलनी है, तो बदलने के लिए कोई रास्ता रुकता नहीं है. तब रास्ते हजारों खुल जाते हैं. आपके पास फोन है, आपके पास फ्रेंड सेशन में आएंगे और जो बात करेंगे इस चीज के ऊपर, और कभी ना कभी ऐसी चीजें हो जाती है. आई मीन
नाइसली पुट. तो ये थोड़ा सा मैं एक बार फिर अपने आप को रिपीट करूंगी आपकी बातों को समराइज करने में.
हिंदी
बार कह रहे हैं ऋषि, कट द ड्रामा आउट. देयर इज नथिंग कॉल्ड नॉर्मल, देयर इज नथिंग कॉल्ड परफेक्ट. You decide you're perfect and keep striving to get there. And if you have the conviction, आज नहीं मान रहे हैं ना यार पापा, आज मम्मी को नहीं समझ में आ रहा है. If you have the conviction, ultimately you form their universe, you form their world, they'll come around. अगर मेरे को ये अचीव करना है तो मुझे कर लेना है. It's so beautiful the way Rishi puts it. He says लोग शादी के बाद भी बहुत कुछ प्रोडक्टिव कर लेते हैं एंड इमीडिएटली आफ्टर ही सेड डिवोर्स दे लेते हैं. It's just beautiful how he's putting it out there. The biggest stigma that a woman can walk around with is a divorce. And he says, productive कर सकते हैं, divorce दे सकते हैं. You're doing that to make your life better. You could not be in a worse situation than that. I want you guys to hold on to that thought that Rishi has given you. Cut the drama out. अगर आप माँ बाप के सभी एक्सपेक्टेशंस पर खरे भी उतर जाते और आप सबसे सक्सेसफुल इंसान होते, आप सबसे नोन चेहरा होते, इसके बावजूद भी इसके बावजूद भी आप ही रहते।
Yeah.
ये पर्सनली कुछ नहीं बदलने वाला था।
Yeah.
सपना पूरा होगा, अगले 2 सपने लाइन लगा के खड़े होंगे, आपके भी और आपके माता पिता के। So every
Yeah.
day when you in the morning, like Rishi says, walk up to the mirror and tell yourself that even if I would have topped the class, even if I would have scored the best, even if I would have gotten the best college, the best job, my face would have remained the same, I would have remained the same, my family would have remained the same. Nothing changes when it comes to emotions in personal relationships and self-love. आपकी भावनाएं सेल्फ लव को लेकर कभी नहीं बदलेंगी, वो वैसी रहेंगी, तो उसको थोड़ा सा बढ़ाइए. आई थिंक ऋषि इज फेसिंग अ वेरी strong connection issues, so I'm going to be asking him to join us back once, so that is it better now, or would you want to join back?
Is it? Yeah, it's a lot better. I think it's the Wi-Fi that is. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So, having said that, Rishi, I'm moving on to the next question here. So, you have had a very supportive set of parents. I mean, congratulations to parents like this.
Thanks. I know, I swear.
Yeah, you have had an exposure of multiple cities, so you pretty well know how culture itself is a fluid thing. It changes from one.
Yeah.
And I think that is also a realization that helps you get through with all of this. You went to a college. It's a different story altogether, that you did not choose to go to a traditional college to get a traditional degree, but you did what you did. You know, you had to, what you wanted to.
Yeah.
So what I am saying here is सब कुछ ठीक था, फिर नौकरियां भी आपने अपनी मर्जी से उठाई, अपनी मर्जी से छोड़ते चले गए, नहीं मजा आ रहा दूसरा, और आपको मिलते गए अपने चांस. इसके बाद आप डिप्रेशन और एंजाइटी की बातें कर रहे हैं, तो वो कैसे हुआ?
हाँ. So actually, ये काफी, I think I'm going to talk a lot about alcohol and drug abuse in this, if I may, if that's okay, if I talk about it. So, I mean, again, like college does expose you to like a lot of people from different backgrounds. For them, the idea of a Saturday night is not like reading a good book and curling up in bed and like talking all sort of things, but it's to go out and party and like have all sort of experiences, like be it drinking a lot or be it drug abuse or stuff like that. It initially, what happened was that it was not that I come from a regular drinking family. We do drink occasionally. That was just like on a weekend or stuff like that. We used to have a drink or two, but never that I was like really into that stuff. But then college does make you like a party animal, like you become a party animal altogether. I started, like drinking a lot. I started going out a lot. I started partying a lot. And, it's just like a slippery slope from there. Like you drink and then somebody starts smoking and then you're smoking drugs that are possible just to have the high in life. And I was a victim of that. I mean, I would not deny it, because that was a very, very, very big part of my life that played a huge, huge and very important role. That I did party a lot. I did meet a lot of friends, and I did experience a very like intergalactic vibe altogether when I was exposed to that sort of culture. And again, not to regret about it, it did give me a sense of extreme pleasure and high at that moment. But when I dropped down of it, it gave me sudden depression. It gave me a lot of negativity, a lot of, sad vibe altogether. Like, that didn't work in my favor. I was just, again, like once you're exposed to a great high and you suddenly walk down the hill, it's obviously, it's a sad time altogether. I think it's a depressing time. That's the same thing that happened. So for 2 years, it was only about anxiety. It was only about depression. And when I say depression, it's not necessarily that depression means like I'll sleep for extra hours and I'll just not get out of the bed. It just happens inwards. You just start thinking too much in your head. You start thinking too much. And all of that will just like, boom, like once it blasts, all you have left is just, your sad face, and you're just sitting there like a dumb fuck, and you're just like, I wasted so much of time, I wasted so much of life, and then it's all regrets. And, again, those regrets, I say that regrets might not take you anywhere. It's instead just, make that thing your armor, I would say. I mean, if I had never tried those drugs, or if I'd never been an alcoholic for a brief while, I mean, I would have never experienced those gorgeous moments of my life. I mean, I did enjoy a lot. I don't do any of that anymore. It's just that I still have respect for that time. I mean, if I would have never seen myself that low, I would have never had the courage to, like, thoda upar jaake just come to a stable point where you're not upset anymore. And I did go to therapy. My parents, again, as I say, I don't know, I should not take enough credit for it, but my parents have been super supportive. They took me to the therapist immediately. They were like, you know what, just do this and do that. They were again being extra friendly with me, which for some reason I didn't like, but they were like, okay, we'll do that. So a little medication was required, I think, for me, because it was just to, like, balance out my hormones that were lost during the process of depression. Because once you're depressed, you lose dopamine, and that's a secretion that happens in your brain to give you like energy and that enthusiastic vibe to just get the day done. So that was missing because once you're depressed or you're anxious, you lack that hormone. So it was just I was on those pills and medication that helped me balance out my hormones again. And yeah, and I'm fine now. I mean, I do get anxious, I do get depressed, but I'm not going to make that my mark. I'm not going to make a mark on me. I'm just not going to let that happen, not going to make it a point that, oh God, I'm depressed and I will always be like, depressed. I should, again, these medications are worthless if I'm not doing anything about it. If I'm like, if I'm still like abusing drugs or if I'm still using alcohol as a refuge, it would just never work. I will just suck into that thing again and like ruin my life. So it's just like know when to stop, knowing when to rise back from the ashes, knowing when to, say no to things, knowing no to people and like, walking out the right time. So I think that's also very important. I always say you should never flow like a river. You should stop sometimes like a dam and like see what's happening and then go through.
So again, Rishi somehow puts things in a very, very, I would say, magical way. It just reaches out to you there. ऋषि कह रहे हैं कि थोड़ा सा डिसअपॉइंटमेंट के लिए जगह रखिए क्योंकि सोचने का जो तरीका है उसमें एक सर्कल बनता है जिसपे आप किसी चीज को लेकर क्या हो सकता है, क्या हुआ है, क्या होगा, और जब फ्यूचर को लेकर आप ज्यादा सोचने लगते हैं, मैंने ऐसा किया तो वैसा होगा, वैसा किया तो वैसा होगा, वैसा किया तो वैसा होगा, तो आप समझ जाइए कि ये आप कहीं ना कहीं सच्चाई से दूर भाग रहे हैं, run away from the reality. You're not accepting where you are at, whenever you are. और जब ये चक्कर चलने लगता है, जब ये सर्कल शुरू हो जाता है, तो आपको खुद को रोकना जरूरी है. Please recognize the pattern. When you start obsessing about the fact that you've had a certain past, and you start obsessing about how that past is going to impact the future, it just says that you're not living in the present. Stop obsessing about it, because that is when you're slipping. You're slipping into depression, and especially in our young age, we end up picking up a lot of alcohol with friends, social drinking ke naam pe, fir partying cool hai ke naam pe. We start doing that, and once you are under some kind of substance effects, what happens is you forget about that loop. And the addiction is caused because you want to forget that loop of thought. उस सोच को आप रोकने के लिए फिर सोचते हैं थोड़ी सी पी लेते हैं, आज थोड़ी और पी लेते हैं, and that could lead to a serious addiction issue. Please stop. Leave room for disappointment in your life. It's okay if you're not always on the top. It's okay if you're not always the best achiever. Life is given to you to just be. And you, especially when you're coming from different identities, it could be a woman, it could be LGBTQ, it could be, I don't know, anybody, the third gender, the whatever number of genders that people want to talk about, people want to be in, let them be. And if you belong to, that particular classification that is not normally or in mainstream society accepted, let them be. You be who you are. Keep check on that loop of thought. Moving on, Rishi, how difficult is it to find partners for somebody who has different preferences?
Oh my God, the worst for the last question or what? No, I mean, I don't know. Like, I now am like thinking about like, why would you choose me to be a part of this life where I'm not really coming up with something? I don't know what. Like, I always come up with something very nice stories and stuff like that. Again, I would say it was pretty easy for me. I don't know why. I mean, I'm not going to give you any. I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to like give you any sort of movie sort of an answers. But oh no, my life was like so terrible. Like I never found a date or like I never dated. I will tell you that I dated a lot, and in fact, it was pretty easy for me to find out. I mean, surprisingly, I was lucky again. But I was in like 4 different relationships and 4 serious ones, and yeah, it was easy for me to like get in and like fall out of love. Because the theory is so easy ki I fall in love very easily and I get out of it even more easily. Like
Yeah.
it'll be
Falling
convenient
is
for me to like
always
walk.
easy. It's the getting out that's all the problem.
No, but getting out is the easiest thing, no? I think. I mean, getting in is a little difficult. Like getting out is the easiest thing.
No, if you are the one leaving, it's easy. But if you are the one being left,
So no, I mean, I think this is what I discuss with my family a lot. I'm like, you know what? I think walking out of friendships or like relationships has always been easier for me because maybe that all my life I've been changing cities, and it's convenient for me to like now that has worked its way into my system now that I can easily walk out of anyone. It's not a good thing to do, but I do take efforts. I will go out of my way to like make that relationship work, but. If it doesn't happen, if I don't get the right vibe, it's so easy for me to look, walk out. I don't know why, but it's just I don't know if it works in my favor or if it's working against me.
no, no,
But
no.
for
It
now,
sounds
yeah,
good.
for now it's been good. It's been good. I mean, I did date the right kind of guys, and I think they were the best of the best, I think, out of the lot that I dated. And yeah, it was great. Yeah, I mean, not that I faced any trouble dating. You have all kind of apps now. You have these Grinder, Bumble, Hinge. Connectivity is so cool now that you literally open. It's like Flipkart, like ordering a dress online. It's like that. So it's so convenient. You are spoiled with choices now. So I think social media also plays a huge role. Like I mean, now you can slide into anybody's DM and start a conversation. It's that easy. You don't have to shy back and hold back. Ki, oh my God, ab ye kya sochega? Dude, that place is for you to like express yourself and like discuss a lot of things. Be friends. I made friends from Instagram. I found love from Instagram. So it's available everywhere. Just look around. This entire metropolis is filled with gorgeous guys and girls. It's just so easy for you to like date anyone. It's so easy. I mean, how can it be hard for anyone to not date? I don't understand.
No, no, dating is not a problem, like I said. But
Yeah.
when you are the one being dumped or you are the one who's being dated,
Oh, okay. That way. Yes, I have been dumped once. Yeah, once. Yeah, I've been dumped once, and it was earth-shattering. Obviously, it was sad because when I get into a relationship, I just like fall hard. Like I fall in love like easily. Then I just like blend into that guy's world pretty easy, and I'm easygoing. Then I like fall in love, and then it's so much attachment that happens. But once that guy dumped me, because again, I'm going to speak from my one incident that happened. I can't speak for everyone. Oh, like dumping is this, but from my end, it was very sad. I mean, I didn't want to see myself in that phase ever again, and maybe this is why I'm not really like taking effort in dating at the moment because that was quite recent. That was I think last year the same time, I guess, something like that. And yeah, it was terrible. I mean, somebody choosing someone else over you itself sounds so demeaning, right? Like I mean, like then you start finding faults in
yeah,
yourself.
no,
Like, oh
cut
my
it
God.
short there. We are
Because I'm not gonna take names, okay? I'm just gonna tell you
no
the whole
way.
dynamic. What happened?
No,
Okay. So it was back in Bombay, like when I was working with this my senior. I would just call him boss. I'm not going to name what designation he was. So he's a gay guy. Like again, he himself is gay, and he hired me not because of my sexual preferences, but my work was. I had like a good body of work presented in front of him, so that was I was chosen. And initially, and again, I was not attracted to that guy because again, like I have a particular type or whatsoever. And then I came across this guy from abroad. Like, I'm not going to say the country's name because it's just going to like filter it down to a very direct thing.
nothing, nothing.
So,
Something happened.
yeah.
So, yeah, we'll
Yeah.
do it.
So I met that person that I was attracted to back a long time ago in a party, and we somehow like stumbled upon each other's Instagram page, and from there it's turned into like chats and then video calls and then everyday calling, and like a lot of conversations started happening, and then we were practically in a virtual relationship. But it was just that I was in Bombay and that person was in someplace else. And somehow that person wanted to like move to Bombay. And I initially thought that maybe, you know what, इतना तो प्यार नहीं हो सकता है कि कोई इंसान देश छोड़ के आ रहा है यार. And he dropped out from the same not the same college, but he dropped out from the college too. Like he was doing medical, and like, you know, I was like shocked that why would he do that? Like, you know, it's just like shocking. But then again, when I'm in love, I just like think I don't see left, right. I'm just like, okay, yeah, come. So he came and everything, and I was like, you know what? Initially, it's going to be hard for you to like find your own place in Bombay because Bombay is like a brutal fucking city. It's not easy to find apartment. I'm like, you stay with me. So yeah, so he stayed with me for a good 6 months, and it was again like a full-fledged relationship that happened, and I got so attached because it's not that I always jump into live-in relationships, but it's rare that I go for live-in relationship. It's a rare thing that it'll ever happen that I'll be in a live-in relationship. I respect my own space. I love somebody else's space so that it's a little balanced. But then I dropped down that barrier. I thought, you know what, like it's hard for him anyway. It's easier if I just offer him some bed and like, you know, just be together anyway. We were like, you know, in love. So yeah, that happened. And then I fixed his job. Like a maniac, I suggested him that, you know, you should join my company, and let's all work together so that whatever money that we get, we can split it into the apartment. Like, hum log khane peene and like we'll do the ration money whatsoever on by ourselves. And he joined the company, and apparently it was my boss, me, and him then. So the three of us. If you're not catching up, you can ask me who's that guy.
I totally.
So okay, you got it. Okay. So what happened was that again for the next 6 months, which marked 1 year of our relationship, this person, the guy that I was the guy I was in relationship with, wanted to like find his own place. He was like, you know what, let's just like move apart and stuff like that. And suddenly that made me question like, how can he find a place like suddenly like in 6 months? इसकी तो कोई saving ही नहीं है. Like ये तो मतलब सारे पैसे तो हम लोग आपस में एक दूसरे के ऊपर खर्चा कर रहे थे. So he was like, you know what, me, I'll find it myself. I was like, okay, ठीक है. मैंने कहा, cool, whatever works the best for you. Then he found this place which he called, it's a PG and nobody's allowed to enter. It's just like a PG sort of place where only I'll be staying. I was like, possible maybe शायद पैसे बचाने के लिए बोल रहा होगा. But then he used to visit my place like a few times. So that happened, but that thing turned into shock. Like, why is it like a PG and like why is he not inviting me to the neighborhood also? And last Diwali, yeah, I think it was last Diwali, when I figured that he was actually dating my boss, and they both were living together. And that was like so like earth shattering. I was like, oh my god, why would he do that? And a few of my friends told me that, you know, he basically came to Bombay just to become an actor. And my boss had really good contacts so that, you know, he could hook him up with certain things and like, you know, give him like a clear way through so that he can like find his whatever. And then when I realized that, you know what, all he did that was for a dream, then again, I'm going to sound very Sant Mahatma type, although I'm not, but I just like talk like that a lot. But then I thought maybe I was just like a Zaria in his life so that he could meet my boss and like find his way to his dreams or stuff like that. I still talk to him. Like we are good friends. Like I still talk to him. So that was just that was my dumping story. Not that I was really upset about it, but of course, I think for some days I was upset about it. Like I used to like cry and like, you know, stuff like that. But yeah, that's to it. Like not very heavy.
Rishi, I think your reasons or your entire story sounds a very legit story for a how do I call it, a tailor-made cheater or
Tailor-made, custom-made cheating.
Yeah, I don't know. That doesn't.
This live chat will become like that guy's cheating bashing wala session now.
Yeah. So
guys, we are taking polls also. Do you think he did wrong?
No, what I meant to say was that this guidebook storylines for every relationship where cheating has happened is what I meant to say. But I was still processing that entire information that came my way. But anyway, moving on. So what happens here is that you were used and you were used and dropped like a hot potato. You didn't let that get to you. That's the thing.
I think in my like again, I know I might sound very oh my God, I'm so together sort of person, but I'm not. Like, I was shattered. Like, for days, I was just like, again into that depression mode that why would he do that? Like, that's so sad to, like, because again, like, I spent like almost an entire year of my time with that person. So that throws me into the loop of questioning my whole existence that is there something wrong with me? Like, did I something like wrong? Maybe why didn't he talk to me about it? Like, if he wanted that, I would have helped me out. And to be honest, I'm not gonna like say this to like come from a very harsh. I don't come from a very harsh thought of school, like school of thought, but not that my boss was super attractive that he would just like dump me for him, or like he was such a sweet or a gem of a person that he would just leave me. And all these things are negative thoughts, because in that statement I'm bashing my boss, I'm saying negative stuff about my boss, and counterpart me, I'm putting up myself like into a chane ka jhaad, a pedestal that oh my God, I'm so great, like why would he choose that guy over me, like there must be something wrong with him, why would he, like all sort of negativity did work into my system. And I thought all sort of things possible, like oh my God, he made friends with my friends, and then he used my friends, and then he did that. And plus in that process a lot of your friends come into play, then they put a lot of things in your head, then they're talking about that, they're bashing about him, they're talking negative things about him, and it is frustrating. Like you already have so much to grasp and so much to absorb. Uske upar se your friends are also pointing out a lot of things ki you should have never tried, I told you from the beginning he was not the right one for you, all sort of things. And again I think words do play an important part in our lives कि like हम शब्दों को बहुत कभी कभी बहुत हल्के में ले लेते हैं कि किसी ने कह ही तो दिया ना, बस किसी ने इतना ही तो कहा है ना, बट उसके कहने की वजह से हमारे दिमाग में कभी कभी इतनी बड़ी छाप छूट जाती है कि हम भूल जाते हैं कि हम खुद कौन हैं। और जब हम वो कर देते हैं ना, तो हमें ये रियलाइज नहीं होता कि हम अपने साथ साथ पता नहीं कितने और लोगों के साथ खिलवाड़ कर रहे हैं। अगर मैं उस टाइम बुरा चाहता, अगर मैं उस टाइम रिवेंजफुल मोड में रहता, आई वुड हैव जस्ट like taken out all my aggression into his life and like created a havoc or a scene out of it, and be like, what, like you use me, like now you wait and watch what I do with your life. It's again a fine line between choosing when to stop. That's when I realized, again, that's how I got out of my addiction. That's how I got out of drug abuse and like alcohol abuse and stuff like that. Knowing when to stop. And I just gave myself a brief period of time to sulk about it, be upset about it, cry my heart out. Like I used to like cry on my friend's lap for a long time. I cried on her lap and I'm like, what, like this happened and all of that crap happened. But then that's to it. उसके बाद मेरे को कभी बुरा नहीं लगा. उसके बाद मैं आज भी उनके बारे में सोचता हूँ तो I feel happy that what, चलो he's living his dream now. He's living his dream now. He's getting some things. He's getting some work. Maybe that was his life. Maybe that was his written life. And again, not to carry a lot of baggage in my life. क्योंकि अगर मैं वो लड़के का नाम लेते लेते अपने साथ फ्यूचर में लेके चलता तो आगे मेरे को कोई और इंसान मिलता भी नहीं, शायद मुझे कोई डेट भी नहीं करना चाहता if I just talk about my past like that. Again, circling back to the same thing. Yeah.
आप सुन रहे हैं ना ऋषि की बात, आप देख रहे हैं ना कि दर्द सबको सेम हो रहा है, आप ये भी देख रहे हैं ना कि प्यार भी सबको सेम हो रहा है, अब ये भी देख लीजिए कि धोखा भी सबको सेम ही मिल रहा है, और उसके बाद का दर्द भी सबको एक साथ ही हो रहा है। ये लेबल आपके दिमाग में है, ये लेबल आपके आसपास लोगों के बार बार कहे जाने के नफरत की वजह से आपको दिख रहा है। उसको तोड़िए। मैं, ऋषि, सबको फील हो रहा है और सबके साथ ठीक वैसे ही सब कुछ हो रहा है जैसे आपके साथ हो रहा है। तो ऐसा नहीं है कि आप हंस देंगे, आप मजाक उड़ा देंगे, आप डिसमिस कर देंगे तो आप स्ट्रॉन्ग कहलाएंगे। यार स्ट्रॉन्ग तो फिर ऋषि और हम ज्यादा हुए। अपनी चोट के साथ साथ हम आपकी दी हुई चोट भी जी रहे हैं और हंस रहे हैं।
Oh God.
Yeah. So, moving on, Rishi. Now, some informative questions coming here. I mean, information-seeking questions coming your way.
Okay, right. Yeah, I was thinking like, was this not informative enough? Okay.
No, information-seeking. So, just to kind of raise my knowledge about this community a little bit more. So the first parade that happened was LGBTQ, right? Then we added a PA or AAP to it. Then we also added TTT to it. Then we added a lot of other letters, and then we did a plus to it.
Plus, yeah.
Identify. So you have to tell me about this entire abbreviation that is changing.
Yeah.
weird? What is
So
it? Why is it?
again, I'm not gonna like get into the plus section because that's anyway. I feel I'm not gonna call it unnecessary, but it's unnecessary elaborated. I mean, that just comes down to a lot of these subdivisions. So LGBTQ is basically like a short for lesbian, gays, bisexual, transgenders, and asexuals. And queer, Q is for queer people. And queer is like an umbrella statement that has like a lot of these demisexuals, sapiosexual, pansexuals. Then they have come up with like a lot more terms, which is again confusing as it sounds. It's a confusing thing. So just the basic terms that we are at least aware of it is L stands for lesbians, and lesbians, as we all know, are like they fall in love with women, and it's a clear cut thing that a woman will fall in love with another woman, and there's no other sexual desire for any other gender of that sort. So it's just like a woman falling in love with another woman is lesbian. Gay is pretty common. Like, I mean, a male boy like loving another male person is just like gay people. They're called gay. And B is bisexuals. So bisexuals have this, I would call it a luxury because I think it's a beautiful thing to like fall in like any gender possible. So bisexuals just fall in love with a male or a female. So I think that's the best. I mean, that's just my personal idea. But yeah, that's bisexuals. They can fall in love with a man or a woman. And T is for transgender. There are people, again, like there's a misconception that they confuse hijras and what do you call an operated personality. They mix it up with like these two. So transgender, trans means trans is a short form transitioning. So person, for example, if I'm a male boy, like born in a male's body, and if I choose to turn myself into a female, I would undergo an operation that is called transitioning, and then I would become a female, like a female personality altogether. Like I'll become a female, and that I would identify myself as a transgender. And that's basically transitioning a gender is transgender, and that is way different from hijras, way different from drag queens, or way different from anybody who just dresses up as a girl. It's a proper thing that happens to a human body anatomy that turns itself into another gender. So that's called transgender. And LGBTQ again is like queer for like a lot. Like there's a lot to discuss about. There are more than like 70 terms I think I've heard. There are 70 terms to talk about, but then that's why I'm just going to keep it short and very basic. So queer encompasses a lot of these terms such as demisexual, pansexuals, asexuals, and stuff like that. All these sexual preferences are based on different sort of choices. For example, if I'm a demisexual, I'll fall in love with the person first before having a sexual contact. A pansexual would be someone who appreciates or gets sexually attracted to an intelligence of a person. So if somebody is very intelligent, that would just turn me on, and I will fall in love with that person before establishing a sexual or like a base or dating that person. So that would be a pansexual. Asexual is someone who who's not like guided by their sexual desire for a long time. Like they are in a relationship or they're not. It's just that they're not very sexually voracious that way. They don't put sex on a pedestal in terms of their preferences. And then we have, oh my god, we have like a lot. I mean, that's like a lot of terms.
Yeah.
So that's just going to take up a lot of time. So basically LGBTQI, you got it now, guys.
So lovely. Let me just brief that up quickly for you.
Yeah.
Last question of the day.
Yeah.
So you have to understand that there are people with emotions, there are people with history, there are people with hormones. अब ये तीन चीजें हैं, समाज है, आपका इतिहास है, और आपके शरीर के अंदर जो कुछ चलता है, बदलता है, जिससे आप बने हुए, वो तीन चीजें हैं. और चौथी चीज है आपका फिजिकल मेक, जो एनाटॉमिकल, जिसको कहते हैं शारीरिक बनावट. सो ये चार चीजें जो हैं, ये जब अपने साथ मिलाती हैं सारे एलिमेंट्स को, तो आपकी पसंद और नापसंद कई तरीके की हो सकती है. ऋषि, शॉर्टकट में सिर्फ ये कहना है कि आपको कुछ भी पसंद हो, आप ये एक समुदाय है जो आपको कुछ भी पसंद हो तो आपको खुली बाहों से अपने अंदर समेटने को तैयार है। मुझे तो लगता है कि वही असली समाज है, ये स्ट्रेट वालों का, है ना, अलग आइडेंटिटी रखनी चाहिए।
I'm not gonna say bad about straight people, but honestly, like I've had straight friends all my life. I love straight people. Like like I like them. Like I don't know.
So that's precisely what I'm saying, Rishi.
Yeah.
The barriers, the labels, the categories. When I'm talking about mainstream, and then I'm talking about so many people with so many different preferences, I think the number of people who have different preferences will kind of be
Will
more
overtake. Yeah.
number than the people who have uh, the normative,
Yeah.
correct.
Binary. We call them binary. Binary sort of.
Yeah, the binary
Yeah.
here, the male
Yeah.
and the female kind of straight
That's
cut
it, yeah.
तो छोटा सा एक लाइन अगर बोलना हो मुझे, तो बहुत लोग कंफ्यूज्ड फील कर रहे हैं क्योंकि आपको लगता है कि यहाँ सिर्फ एक मर्द है और एक औरत है। प्लीज उन्हें कंफ्यूज ना करें, प्लीज प्लीज बच्चे को जन्म लेते के साथ उसे ना बताएं कि तुम्हें क्या करना, उसे करने दे जो करना। ऋषि यही कह रहे हैं कि इतना लंबा है कि मेरी शाम निकल जाएगी लेकिन वो टर्म्स खत्म नहीं होने वाले हैं। तो इसी के साथ हम अपने डिस्कशन के एंड में आते हैं। ऋषि, आपसे एक बहुत जरूरी सवाल मैं यहाँ पर करूंगी। आपकी अपनी भी एक जिंदगी की ट्रैजेक्टरी रही है, इसी के साथ साथ आप ऑर्गेनाइजेशन से भी जुड़े हुए हैं जो एम्पावर करने की तरफ काम कर रहे हैं। इट्स नॉट एन एनजीओ बट इट डेफिनेटली इज एन इनिशिएटिव इन ऑर्डर टू रीच आउट टू पीपल ऑफ पर्टिकुलर। There are people who are not as fortunate in terms of their education qualification, economic qualification, or even in terms of, rather more so, in terms of the kind of parental support that came your way, does not come to, I don't have statistics here, but I'm going to broadly, roughly say maybe 80% of the people coming in this community.
I think.
Yeah, roughly say.
Yeah.
What I am kind of trying to get out of you is, because today's session was so feel good session, because you are happy and you may not have everything sorted out for you in life, but you have your recovery plan sorted out. You know exactly how to get out of a mess situation. I want you to kind of share everything in like bullet points, for the people who are listening to you, because a lot of us confuse ourselves unnecessarily. We can't get out of that maze.
I'm just gonna cough a lot. Don't think, guys, I have COVID-19. I just like got a choked in my throat. So yeah, I mean, okay. So do I have to like circle back to the same points again?
No, quickly. Like if you want to fall in a crappy situation, what would you do? I mean, how would you?
Okay.
Or let's say if some guys, let's say at a pub, you're coming out, somebody corners you, and you start to be really rough on you. I mean, how would you recover from that situation or maybe get out of it?
So the best way is to again, I say like when to stop is like the biggest power that we possess. I mean, knowing when to stop is like the biggest weapon, I would say. Like, for example, a lot of us don't know when to stop talking or like when to say the right things or the wrong things, or like stop when to say the wrong things also. Like sometimes when you extend the dialogue, it might have like went past the hurting point and you're still going on with that. So that is when you should know where to draw the line. And also, for example, if something is going wrong in your life, like you're not alone. Like for sure that a problem is just a problem that can be solved with another human effort. Like God has made us all to like depend on each other, and this is why social media is thriving, because it depends on each other. It's like crossroad between all sort of human civilization and ideas and whatnot. So it's always easy to reach out to someone else. There will be one person who will listen to you without a judgment, be it your paid therapist or be it your best friend or your mom, your sister or your sibling or cousin or anybody on the road. Also, if you see someone upset, just reach out to them, talk to them, make their day, just make them smile, because anyway, there's so much bullshit that's happening around us. I mean, the best and the least that we can do is just like be a helping hand to someone drowning in sorrow or like in trauma or like any of that sort. I mean, again, And above all, I think healing anybody else is not an easy job. Again, you have to work. It's an inward process. First, you have to think about yourself. You have to be very supportive and loving towards yourself. And you know what? This is what love feels like. This is what self-love feels like. Imagine what would that, it would do wonders to anybody else being been subjected to that, vibe altogether. If you know how to love yourself, you will definitely guide others to do the same. And once it's done, the world will never have any of that problem. I think again, it's a task. It's obviously not an easy job to, like, love yourself. It's so self-indulgent to think about that way, like, oh my god, who does that? Like, who would love themselves? That's just so, but it's not that bad. It's the easiest thing ever.
I
Like,
think, Rishi,
take some
that's
time
also
out.
the programming. We've been told.
Yeah, we've been told. But now I think what I feel is that now uh now we have all sort of exposure already presented to us. We now know what self-love is. Nobody is like that unaware or living under the rock that we don't know what therapy is, or what gay people are, or like what vibe needs to be, like, spread around the world. It's given to us. Everything is given to us. It's just that now we have to take an action, and before taking action for anybody else, we have to do it for ourselves. And if not, people are well connected. Everybody is just a click away from anybody now, for that matter, and we can reach out to anybody we wish to. I mean, if not you, if it's not for this initiative or the NGO, something else will be there. Someone else will be there to just, listen to you or be a helping hand. So it's again, I would say, like, depression is never the answer. It's never the answer. It'll never take you to any place else. It'll just take you rock bottom. And once you hit that, also, that's not a problem. It's just how you emerge from it is the problem. And that too also is not a problem. It's a healing process, I think. It's the easiest thing ever. Like, loving yourself is the easiest thing ever. I know it seems hard. It's all the past years that have been forced upon us to, be this way, be that way, do this and that. It's easy to break from a chain. It's easy to break from a chain. What is difficult is to just, like, stick around and, like, be stuck with that chain. It's very difficult. Know the priorities, know what is easy, what is difficult, because we make it easy, we make it difficult.
Beautiful, Rishi. Thank you so much. It was amazing.
Thank you so much.
to know
Same, likewise.
you have helped out there. It was
Likewise,
beautiful.
man.
So thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you
It was
for
so,
clearing all of us up.
thank you for making me a part of this. I'm so stoked. I was so happy to be a part of this and felt so nice. Again, as I said, like, a self-healing process is like
Yes.
it just takes a long side. So this made me realize a lot about, it just helped me again, like, this 1 hour was again like a very helpful process for me. So thank you so much. Thank you so much for including me. That was the biggest thing.
Out there. So thank you.
I hope everybody just, like, gain some nice stuff out of it.
Through the humanizing lives, through Rishi's own experience, the only thing is keep smiling no matter who you are, where you are.
So
Know there is something called humanizing lives waiting for you to connect to, talk to, have fun with, find self-love with, and keep smiling till the time you can't smile bright like a star. Come get in touch with us. We'll help you do that. Thank you. Good night.
thank you so much. Thank you. Bye, guys.